This week on Project Realness, We-ality, we have,
And this.
Beth. Jackie.
well, Andres, Beth, and Jackie. My question for you is, what can we do to inspire our youth or the next generation to come to really buy into this American dream or just a better society in general when all they see in society, on television, and here on the radio is all negative?
Who's going first?
You can go ahead. You have some.
Oh gosh.
I can
Okay.
build off of it, I'm sure.
I guess I can just say run. First and foremost, I guess run. I guess do I have to say it louder? The only way I've learned to keep a shreds of sanity as stuff kind of goes to shit around and everyone can tell that things are getting worse is don't buy into the TV shows. Don't indulge yourself. Don't allow yourself to say, well, I'm around the same area of the race as my fellow man, so I guess my slacking off is acceptable. People allow themselves to only take interest or spend their time in things that don't create anything. It's just parasitic in nature. They
Stay
just eat.
creative, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they just consume everything because it's what they've been taught. It's much easier to simply follow the path of least resistance than it is to actually think for yourself and find your own
So the
way in
term
life.
"go with the only dead fish go with the flow"
Yeah,
would apply very well there.
exactly. And the thing is, if you allow yourself to care about Kim Kardashian or
You're allowed to care about those things, but how's that really going to change your life? And would you really want Kim Kardashian to have the power to change your life?
what I mean is if you spend your time worrying about those things and spend your insecurities comparing yourself to people who have been greatly photoshopped to begin with, there's no end there. You'll never reach any sort of fulfillment. If all you do is consume, eventually you're just going to feel too full and you're going to get tired and then you're going to feel shitty about yourself. Like if you're eating way too much ice cream, how do you feel? But
A headache.
yeah, if you were doing all the work it took to produce that ice cream, you'd probably have enough time doing things in between that the ice cream would be awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so spend less time consuming and spend more time producing. A lot of people do have trouble understanding the value of something nowadays because they spend so little time producing the things that they are getting. They don't spend any time sowing their oats, only reaping the
It's
products.
a culture based on convenience, and
Well,
that
yeah, that's
hates
America,
their pride in your work.
unfortunately. And we're always consistently trying to find ways to make things easier. And if you want to make it anywhere, you have to be ahead on what's going to make things easier. It's difficult because convenience seems to be the cancer that's rotting at America. But the problem is, I think, like, convenience breeds laziness, which gives way to the ability to look to false idols. Like, all of the famous people in America, and everybody wants to be famous, and everybody wants to get their moment in the spotlight.
I heard the news story yesterday that Harrison Ford almost died in a plane crash like 15 times in different news stories.
But he
Whereas,
almost died.
Yeah, how many other terrible things? The thing
There was
is,
a really bad accident on
I understand that
I-65.
you can't spend your time lamenting the ills of the world, but at the same time, like, why are we spending our time worrying about Harrison Ford? I think my mom must have spent like 45 minutes on the phone talking to different people about Harrison Ford's death. or near-death experience. And it's like,
when
why?
there was actually a pedestrian in Tennessee who just got killed on the interstate, who was trying to go and get something for his car, who was killed on the interstate. And it got mentioned once, and I don't think anybody else has said anything about it.
Yeah, and the thing is like, who, like, I don't know. I guess it's like people like to spend their time worrying about Harrison Ford because his life is more glamorous than any of ours. I mean, like, yeah, some dude died on the interstate. That's a terrible story, but it's not interesting. Like, but Harrison Ford, pilot of, what was it called in Star Wars? And, you know, oh my god, he almost died in a plane crash.
Well,
like, that's
that
newsworthy.
also,
Ooh. Because,
it
you
goes
know.
to, some people take it, you know, Harrison Ford. It's like, you know, we grew up with the girl from Twilight.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Exactly.
we're gonna grow up, and she's gonna grow up, and she's gonna still be making movies.
If something happened to Kristen Stewart, we'd feel like something happened to Bella from Twilight. Not that necessarily any of us would care.
It's like you
But some
relate
people
to
would.
like people.
You relate to the character. You relate to the person that you've seen in films. It's like they're a person in your home. I think
Like
that's what he's trying to say.
Will Smith, we know him from the '90s, and whenever he